Welcome to the training on payments, refunds, and voids. Let's get started. By the end of this training, you'll be able to take payments and process refunds and voids. As version 2 account users, clicking on the Orders tab will bring up the order from the right side of the screen, and this is how we start a new order. Here I have my customer, Nicole. She came in for an appointment and she's now ready to pay. And to check her out, I can start by right-clicking on her appointment. And from the right-click menu that pops up, I can select Take Payment Checkout. And that will open up the order from the right. With the order open, we can see everything that Nicole's paying for today. And from here, I can click on Add to Order to add any additional items that she wants to buy. When we click on any one of these buttons, we'll see a list of all the items related to it. Let's see what happens when I click on the Services button. Here I can see a list of all the services I offer in my account. So if a customer adds on a service while they're receiving their treatment, we can add it to the order easily. And if we quickly need to find a service, we can type in the service in the search bar at the top and then select it from the filtered out matches that appear below. Nicole brings up a bottle of moisturizer to buy today. Let's click on Products to add it to the order for her. Here I'll see a list of all the products in my Booker account. There's a couple ways we can add a product into an order. One way is to scan it using the barcode scanner in the scan field here. And another way is just to click on the product from the list below. And if we have a lot of products and maybe we're not using the barcode scanner, we can also type in the name of the product here in the search field to narrow down the list of products we see below. And once I do locate that moisturizer Nicole wants to buy, I can click on it to add it to the order. And that will bring us back to the main order page with a green notification along the top letting us know the product was added. Perhaps Nicole lets us know about one of our promos that we're running and wants to redeem it. We will need to click on Add to Order to get to our specials and apply them to orders. Whenever a special can be added to an order, the Specials button will be active. We need to click on it to apply a special to the order. And here we'll see the list of any active special that can be applied specifically to this order. We won't see a list of all the specials here, just the ones that apply to this order. We can click on any special from the list we see here to apply it, or if Nicole has a special code, we can also type the code in this field at the top and hit Enter to apply it. And if you don't see the special you're trying to apply, just make sure the special is set up correctly. And if we ever need to return to the main order page, we can use the back arrow button that we see at the top left of the order. Applying a special will bring us back to the main order page with a green notification along the top to let us know the special was added. When we have items in the order, we can click on those individual items and make some changes. So let's click on the facial and see what happens. We can change the service provider that performed the service, and this lets Booker know which employee to pay commission on it, so only change it when it's needed. We can change the service if the customer switched to a different one. We can also make any price adjustments to the item if our login allows for it. And if we make any changes here, we just want to make sure we click Save down below to update the order. But if we're not making changes and we're just checking this out, we can click on Cancel. Once we're ready to take Nicole's payment, we'll click on Proceed to Payment. The next step is to choose the payment type. And for this example, we're going to apply cash. So I'll click on that button, and from here, I can enter in the amount of cash she is paying with today. I can close the order by clicking Complete Order. The order will be grayed out, indicating that it's fully closed out in the system. And also, you'll notice on the calendar that the appointment for Nicole is also grayed out, which is a nice visual cue to let us know that the appointment has been closed. And typically at the end of your business day, you want all of your appointments to be grayed out like you see here. Let's look at credit card payments. When booking appointments, after we enter the basic appointment info, we have two options at the bottom to book it. We can just book the appointment, or we can book and apply payment. And when we click on Book and Apply Payment, we will be able to hold a credit card for the appointment or charge a deposit. Book and Apply Payment redirects us to the Payment tab of the appointment bubble. First, we're going to indicate whether the credit card we're entering here will be used to charge for an immediate deposit or just to hold the appointment. And after we enter in the credit card info, pay attention to this option you see at the bottom here. Just make sure that if the customer wants to save this credit card on file so they have it there to use in the future, check the box. If it is left unchecked, the credit card that we enter here can only be used to charge a cancellation fee or no-show fee for this one appointment. And to check out appointments again, we'll right-click on the appointment and select Take Payment Checkout. This will open up the order from the right. And remember, we can add additional items to the order through any of those buttons there. And when we're ready, we can click on Proceed to Payment. For customers that have saved a credit card on file, you will find it here. And if you wish to use this credit card saved on file, simply click on it. We'll then be taken to a new view of the order with the opportunity to apply a tip to the order, and when we're done, we can just click Complete Order. The order will close from here, and once an order is closed, we do see the options to void, refund, add tips, or give receipts there. We will get into these actions later on. For those of us that have a Clover Mini connected to Booker and the customer is paying with a credit card that is not saved on file, when we're ready, we'll click on Proceed to Payment. In the Pay With screen, we want to click on Swipe, Dip, Tap. In the next step, we're going to include the amount and then initiate the payment. After we initiate the payment, the Clover Mini will walk the customer through swiping or dipping their chip card and will also take over by asking if they want to leave a tip. And here in the order, we can see that we are waiting for payment. Now, once the customer has gone through all the steps to close the order with the Clover Mini, the system will then automatically close out the order for you, and we can see a signature here in the updated order showing that it's closed as well. And then at the bottom, if we wanted to give a receipt for this order, we can click on that receipt option there. And from here, we have the option to email the receipt or print it out. And if we're printing receipts and we're using the Clover Mini, it will print out from the back part of it. We're going to go ahead and get into tips now and cover some questions you may have had about adding tips to orders. How do I add tips to an order after it's closed? While the order is open, as we've been seeing, we will always find the option to add a tip to any payment type, except for cash, series, and membership benefits. However, if we forget to add the tip into the order before we close it, or perhaps we are taking payment with only a series or benefit, we can still apply the tip to the order. Here is a closed order for my customer Marge that came in for an anti-aging facial, and looking at the payment history, we can see that there is not a tip applied. Marge only paid for the service. And when an order is closed, we will always find the option to add tips at the bottom. Marge wants to use her credit card to pay for the tip. So from here, I'll select the Enter Manually option in the Pay With screen when it comes to applying a tip. We do have a few other options as well, so we can add a tip using any of these payment types here in this way. After the payment selected, we will need to type in the amount of the tip here, and then the system will assign it to the service provider. And since this is being paid for with a credit card, I would also need to enter in the credit card info here manually. And we can click on Apply Tip to finalize. After it's finalized, we can see here in the closed order the tip has been applied. Can my customers pay for tips with gift certificates or cards after the order is closed? They certainly can, and you may have noticed in the previous tip example that option, but we're going to go over the process now. This is somewhat of a newer feature. We're going to add tips into Hank's order here by clicking on tips down below. The first step will always be choosing the payment. We can select gift certificates for this tip. Even if it's a gift card, still select gift certificates. And here in this view of the order, we're going to enter in the tip total here. And then next, we're going to enter in the GC number in that field below and then click Validate Gift Code. The system will confirm that this is valid, and then all that's left to do is to click on Apply Tip. And then in the closed order, we can see that the tip's been applied. How about adding tips to a group appointment or any order with more than one service provider? We can do that also, but first, we're going to go through the process of checking out this group appointment that I have. We can right-click on any of the appointments in the group to start checking it out. We won't be able to click on Take Payment for groups, but instead we have the option to hover over it to see the additional options to check out the entire group or that customer only whose appointment we clicked on. Just remember that the primary payer of a group can only check out for the entire group, even though we'll see both options for them. And the primary payer of the group is usually the one that booked the appointments. We will check out the entire group for this example. From the order, we'll click on Proceed to Payment, and we'll select the payment type and then finish closing the order. Now at the bottom, we'll find the options to apply tips. We will choose the payment type for the tip from here. And next, we're going to enter in the tip amount. And Brad's leaving $75. That will be split amongst all three of these service providers. And once that's entered, the system will automatically distribute the tips to those service providers. However, we can make adjustments to this if we needed to, because the system will just split that evenly between the service providers there. But perhaps Brad wants to give Bree $30 and have Amanda only receive $20. And I've gone ahead and modified or changed those tip amounts in both of those fields. And we can change these tips for the individual service providers to be any amounts that we want, so long as the changes we're making still add up to the total tips that we originally entered. And once everything's correct here, we're going to click on Apply Tip to finalize. And in the order, we can see those tips have been applied to those service providers. What if each customer in a group appointment wants to pay for the tip using a different payment method? And this is another great question. Maybe the primary payer is checking out or paying for the services themselves, but leaving the tip up to the individual customers of the group. And we can do this. So we're taking a look at another group appointment that I've already checked out and have the order open. And if you'll notice, each service was performed by a different employee. And we're going to add the first tip. So we'll click on Tips down below. And here we're going to select the payment method for this first tip. Then we can enter in the tip total in this next page, and we'll apply this first tip only to Amanda. And remember, the system's automatically distributing the tips, so we need to edit these individual tip amounts. I'm only applying this tip to Amanda, leaving Bree and Maggie set to 0. Once that's done, I can click on Apply Tip. And then back in the main view of the order, we will see that $20 tip being given only to Amanda. Let's go ahead and add a tip for Bree next. We can click on Add Tips again to add hers. Now, since this order already has a tip applied, we will see and click on Add More Tip. Next, as we know, we're going to select how this tip is being paid for. So the next customer of the group is giving us their specific payment type for the tip that they are leaving. And we'll enter the tip amount here. And down below, This amount needs to be applied just to Bree. And notice the other employees we have set at $0. And we'll click on Apply Tips to finalize this. And back in the main view of the order, we will see that $20 tip being given only to Bree. We can add a tip for Maggie by clicking Tips again and following the same steps that we've just covered. And within any closed order, we see in the payment history a section for tips, and we can see how many tips have been added along with the payment types for those. And when it comes to finding order details, like the staff member that closed an order, we can view the history by clicking this icon, this clock icon that we see at the top right of the order. This is our history icon. When we click on that, it will show us a list of all the actions that occurred within this order, even from the point of it being an appointment. This will help us better understand all the changes that took place during the order's life cycle in the system. Next, we're going to cover gift certificates, cards, and series. To sell a gift certificate, click on the Orders tab to start an order. And this order here is for a walk-in customer, and we can leave it that way, but it's recommended to enter in customer names into orders whenever possible, especially for gift certificates or gift cards, because it makes it a lot easier to track these in the system when the order is attached to a customer's name. Now that I've added my customer, I will select the gift certificate button from here. The next step is where to enter the amount of the gift certificate and also the to and from and message fields, but these three fields are optional. Scrolling down this page, we will have to select a theme for the gift certificate from the templates in the system, and then you can click Add to Cart. To finish, follow the same checkout steps we've gone through by taking their payment and closing the order. And once the order is closed, we will find the gift certificate number and the opportunity to print it out from here. Now, if it's the sales receipt that the customer wants just to show the gift certificate was purchased, that's when you can give the receipt by clicking that option down below. And again, that would give us the option to print them the receipt or email them the receipt. For those of us that are selling gift cards instead of certificates, to sell one of those, we will start off the order the same way. We'll open the new order, attach the customer's name, and click the gift certificates button. Then we just want to switch over to the gift cards tab that's to the right of gift certificates. And notice how this setup looks a little bit different from gift certificates. Here we can swipe, scan, or manually type in the card number. Below that, we can enter in the value of the gift card. And we have a few preset amounts that we can add with a click, but we can enter any amount we want to here. And then we can add this to the cart. Now that the gift card's been added to the order, we can proceed to payment and close the order. And once the order is closed, we can hand that gift card to the customer. When it comes time to redeeming gift certificates or gift cards as payment, here we have my customer, Lily. She's ready to pay for her appointment and is going to use a gift card to pay for it. So here in the order, I'll click on Proceed to Payment. In the Pay With screen, we will click the Gift Certificates button. That's within the Store Credit section. It's always going to be at the bottom left here. And when it comes to redeeming gift certificates and gift cards, it's the same process. We won't see a separate place to redeem gift cards from certificates. We can simply swipe, scan, or manually enter in the gift card or certificate number here in this field and then click Validate Gift Code. Once the GC is validated in the system, we can enter in the payment amount and add any tip and then click Complete Order to close. In the closed order, we will see that gift certificate or card was applied as payment. Now let's move on to series. My customer, Kathy, tells me she's interested in using a series to pay for this aromatherapy massage that she's ready to check out for today. And in order for Kathy to use the series as payment, we have to sell it to her first. So I've started a new order for Kathy, and I can click on series from here. It's really important to remember when you're selling series to your customers, you have to enter their names into the order first. Otherwise, the series button will not be active or clickable for us if the order is set to a walk-in customer. That's because it saves the series as a payment type to this customer's profile. Once we click on series, we're going to see a list of all the series we can sell to this customer. And she wants the series that applies to this aromatherapy massage. So looking through my series here, I'm going to click on the 5 aromatherapy massages one. That will add this series to the order, and we can proceed to payment. We can select Kathy's payment type here, and then close out the order. Now that she's purchased a series, it's a saved payment on her profile, and she can use it to pay for this appointment. So we're checking her out, and here in the order for the appointment, we're going to click on Proceed to Payment. In the Pay With screen, we are going to click Series and Benefits. That's always going to be in the Store Credit section at the bottom right. Here we'll find any available series that this customer has to redeem. We can click on the series from here and then click on Complete Order down below to continue closing out. And if the series was the only payment type being used in the order, it will automatically close once we add it. This is a perfect example of when we would need to add tips after the order is closed. Can I email a gift certificate? How do I check the balance of a gift certificate or a series? While the option to email a gift certificate is not yet available from the order itself, there is another way we can email gift certificates. And we can also check on the balance of a gift certificate or a gift card from the same place we can email those. And we can also check series balances as well. For gift certificates and gift cards, we can get into our gift certificates cards page that we have in the Orders tab. We have to click directly on this downward facing or downward pointing arrow on the Orders tab to access the other pages within it. Clicking anywhere else on this tab will just open a new order. So once you have the drop-down menu showing, click Gift Certificates Cards. And here on this page, we will find a list of all the gift certificates or gift cards that have been sold in the system. And we can look up a specific one using these search fields at the top. And when we find the correct gift certificate or gift card, we have some action items on the far right. Now for those certificates, this is where we'll find the option to email it to the customer. We also have the option to print it out again from here. This is a great option if you are trying to go green and save the business some money on ink and on paper, because these gift certificates do print out on a standard letter size paper that prints out from your regular printer. So if you want to be environmentally friendly, save the business a little bit of money, make sure that everyone at your business that's selling gift certificates knows this process to go into this page after a gift certificate's been sold and email it to the customer from here. Also, one of the great things about this page, if customers forget their gift certificates or their gift cards at home, we can use this page to look up that number, copy the number from here, and still add it as payment into the order, which is really great. And one reason why you may consider entering in to and from names into the gift certificates that you are selling, because it's going to make it easier to locate it in this page here. So your customers don't even technically need to have these gift certificates or gift cards in hand in order to redeem it. You can always search for it here, copy that number, and take it as payment. We also have the option of checking balances of gift certificates and cards here. If we need to look up a series, again, we'd use the drop-down menu of the Orders tab by clicking that arrow. And once we have the drop-down menu appearing, we will click Series. We can use the search fields at the top to find a series. And we can see information here such as the original quantity and the remaining balance. Next, we'll move over into refunds and voids. Once an order is closed, we see the options to void and refund at the bottom. A void will undo the order that was processed. And some important things to keep in mind about voids. Voiding an order is a good idea if any kind of payment or item was submitted incorrectly. And voids are only available to process the same day that the order is closed. And when we void an order that's part of an appointment, the appointment reverts back to an open state on the calendar. That's really important to remember because when we are voiding an order, it typically means some mistake was made in the way the order was closed originally, and we want to erase it and wipe it out like it never existed and start over again. So just make sure anytime you void that you do go and check out that customer again if you need to and make sure that it's done correctly. And the reason why voids are only available the same day the order is closed has to do with credit card payments and those batching out every night. Once credit card payments batch out for the night, all of those pending charges roll over into permanent ones. But if we void that same day the card was charged, while your customers may see a pending charge on their credit card statement, that would drop off within a few business days as if it never existed. So all of my orders that I closed yesterday, I do not have the option to void today. Here I have Natasha's order open. It's her closed order. I closed it out incorrectly and I need to void it. So I'll click on void from below. From the pop-up here, we'll get this message. We can just click yes to finish this up. And the order will update and tell us that it's voided. And also notice that Natasha's appointment now is open again, and I can check her out correctly this next time. And we can also start a void from the Manage Orders page here in the Orders tab. Once we locate the order to void, and we click on the option to void from the Actions column on the right, that void icon is that orange circle with the slash through it. We'll get this pop-up that appears, and we can click on OK to complete the void. Once the void is processed, the system will open up the voided order to let us know that's complete. Refunds will also return funds to the customer, and refunds can be processed any time after the order has been closed with respect to your refund policy. And the reason why a refund will also return funds to the customer. The primary difference is the way that customers would see it on their credit card statement. The refund, when it's a refund rather than a void, they would see that original charge of the full amount on their credit card statement and then the refunded amount on their credit card statement. Refunds can be processed anytime after the order has been closed in the system with respect to your own cancellation, with respect to your own refund policy. Processing a refund has a few steps, and before we process a refund, it is very important to keep in mind that refunds do not remove commission that's been assigned to employees for services or products. It's incredibly important that any staff responsible for processing refunds in your account is trained on the proper way to do this. Because once a refund is processed in the system, it cannot be undone. It's a final action. Keeping that in mind, the very first step to processing a refund is removing the employee from any item that's being returned. When a customer comes in for a refund, we can locate the order here on the Manage Orders page. We can open the order a few ways. We can click on the order number we see on the left, or from the Actions column on the right, we can click either the View or the Refund icons. All of these options will just open up that closed order for us. So here I have my customer that purchased 3 items but only wants to return the toner. With the order open, we first need to remove the commission from the staff member that's going to get it. And even though the order is closed, we can still change this. This is the one thing we can change within a closed order. And we just need to click on the toner itself to make that change. From here, we'll use this drop-down and select No Employee Selected. Once that's done, we'll click Save to update the order. Then we'll see that the toner is unassigned, which means no employees will get paid for selling this. Now we're ready to refund. We can click on Refund at the bottom to start. In the next page, we'll have to tell the system what item the customer will be refunded for. Just take notice that all of these items in the order are automatically selected. So we need to remove check marks from the items that are not being refunded, since this customer is only returning the Essence toner. And you can see here I have removed check marks from the other items. The next step is to choose how the refund will be issued: the original payment method, store credit, or a new gift card. And just note that the store credit option will only be seen in orders that are attached to customers, like this order is attached to my customer Taylor. If the order is for a walk-in customer, store credit would not show up as an option to refund here. I'm going to keep the original payment method for this refund. Just keep in mind, when it comes to refunding credit cards, they're only available for refunds for 60 days. That is due to Booker being PCI compliant. So again, that is 60 days, 60, about 2 months. That is a pretty generous refund policy. But if you do need to have credit cards refunded beyond that 60 days, you can reach out to your merchant processor for that. From here, we'll click Refund below to finalize. We will get one message to confirm that we want to refund these items, and we can select Yes. And that's it. The refund has now been successfully processed in the system. Here are the important things to remember for refunds. Refunds do not remove commission that's been assigned to employees for services or products. You can refund an order if the customer wishes to return one item or if it's been at least 1 day since the order was closed. And with this one, for example, if I came and purchased 3 products at your business today and came back a couple hours later to return one of them, you would have the option to process a void or process that as a refund. That would be a business preference. But just keep in mind, if you're voiding, you do need to ring up that customer for the other items that they were still keeping. Refunds are final actions in the system. There is nothing that can be done to edit or undo or void a refund after it's processed. Not even from our end can we do anything. And that's because refunds are affecting your sales numbers and your metrics. And those numbers need to stay accurate. You will always be able to go back into an order that has one refunded item and refund any of the other items that have not been refunded yet. But any refunds that have occurred, even if it's just for one item, that is a final action. Now we're going to go over how to give store credit in a refund. So here we are ready to refund this order, and I've already chosen store credit for my customer, Jessie, and I'll click on Refund down below to continue. And we'll get this pop-up message that lets us know the store credit will be saved as a gift certificate in the customer's profile. And from here, I'll click Yes. And then we'll see the order has been refunded. But what happens when she comes in to redeem it? Will the system notify me automatically about the store credit? Booker won't automatically notify you about a customer having store credit, but you can set up your own notification with the checkout alert from the Details tab of the customer's profile. Once you enter in the alert, click Save. And when Jessie comes in to redeem her store credit, this checkout alert will pop up to remind us about it. In the Pay With screen of the order, that store credit will be stored in the gift certificates payments. And here we can click on the gift code under the gifts on file. Now this will only pay for part of Jessie's order, but once we've entered in the payment amount, I'll click Apply $31.20. The system notifies us that this has been applied, and now I can take the remaining payment and close the order. We can always see the different payments taken in the order from here. Last to cover is refunding to a new gift card. We can start the refund and issue it to new gift card. We can enter in the gift card number in this field, and this is a really great option for orders that are set to walk-ins. We can click refund when we're ready. We'll get that same pop-up message to confirm by clicking yes. And then the refund will finalize from here. And typically at this point, since it is a gift card, you would hand that to the customer. But we can always see store credits and gift cards issued from refunds here on the Gift Certificates Cards page in the Orders tab. Where can I find all my orders? We can find and manage our orders from the Manage Orders page. Click on the arrow on the Orders tab, and then from the drop-down, select Manage Orders. To find a specific order or narrow down our list of orders, we can use the search options here on the left, and always make sure to select the correct date range from the top here as well, just because it usually defaults to the current week. If we ever need to look up a closed order, we can come here to filter out the orders and then open the order a few ways. By clicking on the order number we see on the left, or from the Actions column on the right by either clicking the View or Refund icons. Whichever option we click on opens the closed order from the right for us. If you have any questions about anything related to Booker, don't forget the Support Center is available 24/7, and you can access it by clicking on Support from the top right of your account when you're logged in. You can also go to help.booker.com. Here we can use the search field to find answers to our Booker questions, and a search will show a list of articles related to the words used in the search. We also have our Training Center right on the Support homepage. That New to Booker section is for our new users. It's a collection of articles to get you started with the basics. We do have training videos that can be watched on demand. And we also have live virtual trainings that you can register for and take with a live Booker trainer. These live virtual trainings are offered Mondays through Fridays, and they are free and unlimited to you and your staff. They cover a variety of Booker topics, and you can come directly here to the Support Center to get registered. If you have any new hires that need to be trained on how to use the Booker system, get them signed up for these trainings and let Booker's training team take care of that for you. That is it for this training. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate it, and we hope to see you in a live training in the future. Take care. Bye-bye.